such sights to show you.
You are all going to die tonight.
This is bad comedy.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Well, it's 9 o'clock on BBC Two, and now it's time for the World Champions of Dry Stone Walling live from the Pig District. Oh, hold on a sec. Wrong bit.
Wrong channel.
Of course, by that bit, I mean, welcome to Higgis. Hello, I'm back. Woo. Yes, hello, people. Here we
Oh,
are again.
I missed you.
Oh, I missed you too. Oh. So yes, welcome to the new Geeky Show. With me, as ever, is my cohort, my co-host, my hetero life partner. It is, well, let's see. What shall I say? Well, Latif started gnashing when she was caught flashing, but I still think she's smashing. It's Violet Impulse, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, my sweet tortured souls, and welcome to another episode of Fun Your Geek is Showing. How have you been, guy?
I've been a busy little boy,
Oh, have you now? Oh.
but hey, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. So yes, obviously last week I was absent, so I'd like to say publicly here, big thanks to Mr. Jimmy Lee for covering me. Great job, sir. We salute you. So there you go. Right, to the heart of the matter. How have you been?
I've been very, very well, busy as all hell, but here in the underworld, what do you expect?
Oh, exactly.
There's pineapples and buttholes abound. I am constantly kept busy.
Indeed. Right. Well, I suppose we better get to the first segment of the show. It's time for the shout-outs.
That's right, it's shout out time, everybody. And up first, we have longtime fan of the show, one of our biggest supporters, also pops by for an episode or two. It's the Gazman in Gaz.
Guzma.
Says, great to see you back. I've missed a few episodes. I'll go back and watch them. We'll hold you to that. We will hold you to that.
We will.
I really enjoyed Stranger Things season 4 was fantastic. Yes, yes, yes. Says hope they stick the landing. Yeah, this is kind of a lot of concerns for the fans is that we're not getting it until next year. Everything is very hush hush at the minute. We know Linda Hamilton's going to be in it. And that's about it. Let's hope, like you just said, that they stick the landing, because if they fumble it at the last minute, it's only going to be remembered as one of those shows that bowls it up at the end. It won't be remembered for the great, brilliant storytelling leading up to that point. It will go down in history as, oh yeah, that show that fucked it on the final season. Last Game of Thrones. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's hope it doesn't do that.
Don't you bring down the good name of my Lost. One of my favourite programs.
Lost, it's a show that I'm glad I never found. Hey, all I'm saying is Stranger Things to the Smoke Monster better. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, fucking rein it in there, Hornhead.
Anyway, moving on. Have another comment from the man, the myth, the beard, the ginger one, Mr. JK47, the ginger ninja. And
Good evening, JK.
And he says, if you want something weird, check out what Huey looks like in the boys' comic book, and then go back and watch the first 2 episodes of the boys' show. I may just have to do that. I may just have to.
Well, seeing as I'm a right old little teacher's pet, I actually did follow JK's advice and had a look.
Right.
Look out.
But then again, saying something like that, the differences between Kick-Ass, the comic book, and film, the characters of Kick-Ass are nothing alike. Like,
yeah,
short, glasses, blonde, tall, curly brown hair, glasses.
Yeah.
Okay. But also continues to say here, I enjoyed most of Stranger Things. Most of season two was a bit hit and miss for me, but I
Mm.
do enjoy the nostalgic feels and the vibe it has. Yes, I have actually had conversations about this before. To me, and this is just my personal feelings as a fan, season two for me feels like there's way more set up for stuff that's going to happen in season three than there is anything else. Like there's a lot of storylines in season two that get set up that don't pay off until the next season. That's why season three is so much more, is so much better in my opinion, because season two feels like set up for season three. But it's still a good series.
Mm.
Season two was still good, but compared to the one, three, and four, it's the weakest one, which is why I'm keeping my fingers crossed for number five. Okay then. This is I don't know if you watched the episode back, guy, but this is in reference to where me and Jimmy was saying that I'd much rather them spend the budget of a Marvel movie on a TV show and make it a really good TV show like Stranger Things.
Yes, I remembered. I watched the episode.
Good. I didn't know if you did or not. Sorry.
Well, as soon as I commented on it,
Yeah, I didn't. I've just seen the comments. Shut up. I know what I'm doing. I swear.
I think you'd prepare this in advance, but just saying.
I'm about 5 minutes in front of myself. That's just enough. But JK goes on to say, why spend so much money on Marvel movies that are going to tank tax write-off?
Yeah.
There is that, but sooner or later that well's going to run dry. And
Mm.
the only thing that's going to suffer is the characters, not the company. Because they'll tank the characters so hard that no one will want to touch them for the next 20, 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
So it's bad. Gotta be the reason. I saw Madam Web and it's bad. And I didn't mind the Marvels. That's saying something as to how bad that movie really must be. I've
Well,
not seen Madam Web. I don't want to see Madam Web. I've seen the trailers, I've seen reviews, and every fiber of my being is just going, what, why,
mm,
why? Like, how do you get one of the greatest Spider-Man characters who kind of interconnects everything and fuck it so badly? So,
because that's what they do.
I mean, oh. But anyway, moving on with the comments section, we have a shout out from Jimmy Lee saying,
Jim
thanks.
Lee.
Hey, Jim Lee. Not that Jim Lee.
What, from Slade?
I wasn't about the comic book artist, but never mind. Well, one of these things is not like the other. Anyway, thanks for having me guest host again. It was great to geek out over a great show. Looking forward to season 5 and hope it avoids a GOT issue. Yeah, let's hope not. Also checked out Crow trailer. Yes, I'd watch it. I am now extremely concerned that Hollywood is yet again making a classic film badly. I've still not watched the trailer. I'm kind of,
I have.
I think I'm in some sort of PTSD denial. Like, no, it doesn't exist. The Crow remake, it doesn't. It's not real. It's not happening. It's an AI generated thing. It's not real. But go on, and your thoughts on it is, have you seen the trailer, guy? Give us your thoughts. Come on.
My thoughts are, oh dear.
As soon as I saw the pictures, I was like, "What's with the tattoo around the neck?" I got PTSD flashbacks of Leto's Joker.
Mm.
Like I was like, no, no, what are you doing? Please stop. He's dead already. And
Yeah.
even the director of the original has condemned this as kind of shitting on Brandon Lee's legacy, which
We're
I'm
going to get up. a lot of that comment. So
I'm kind of I'm not in that camp, but I'm walking past it going, you know what? I like what they're chanting.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I can kind of, it's a valid point. Like, the guy died making the film. It's one of those films that they should not remake.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just because of, not just because of the film itself, but the story around it, like what happened to Brandon Lee and his legacy with it and all that. It really is just Hollywood, do something original, please.
Yes, as we're marching you at night with pitchforks and torches.
Yeah, yeah. We'll go all Mary Shelley Frankenstein on you, you know, we'll come, yeah. But yeah, I've not seen the trailer. The more, as I said in a comment somewhere, the more I see about it, the less I kind of want to see it. Before, I was kind of optimistic because I was like, it's closer to the comic book. The character design is closer to the original one. Let's
Yeah.
give it some slack. But then I've seen these designs come to life, and I'm like, stop,
Yeah.
just stop, just stop. And last comment is from you. Great
Well,
episode.
though.
You have convinced me to try again with Stranger Things. I will hold you to that. I'll hold you to that. You're going to watch that at the same time as you watch Gargoyles, are you? Is that going to be your response? Yes, I'll watch Stranger Things right after I've finished Gargoyles.
Coming soon in season 84.
If we get that far.
Second half.
Big thanks to Jimmy Lee for covering for me. Great job, sir. Random JB will return. That's almost a Transformers redub. Do you remember when they did that redub on the VHS where it's like the greatest Autobot of them all? Optimus Prime will return. It's like, oh, spoil it. Thanks.
Yeah. It's a bit of a riff on James Bond credits as well.
Oh, yeah. Right at the end of the credits. James Bond will return in Dinner Date with Your Mom.
Well, you
know. Well, if Bond was played by Pertwee, you know.
Wow.
Hi, Tony. Hi.
Hello.
Oh,
right. That's the end of
Tony,
the shout outs.
Speaking of Tony.
Yes, Tony wants to play. So we'll adjust him.
A little song for us, have you?
Yeah, singing your little songs there over on Tony Time.
Let's take it from the top, shall we, guy?
Yes.
A two, a 1, 2, 3. I know.
Get on your nerves. Get on your nerves. Get on your nerves. I got a song that'll get on your nerves. So
get on your nerves.
15 Love.
Beat that, Tony. Right.
And with that, it's time for the next section. Who's hosting?
You. I said moving swiftly on, and I was passing it over to you. I was
okay then.
Doing a hand gesture.
Well, don't mumble.
Well, no.
Enunciate. So we have to ask that question once again. It's that time. What you been watching, mate?
Well, guys, I'm still watching Supernatural. I'm now getting very close to season 6. I got it wrong. I thought I got through season 5 into season 6 before. I hadn't.
Yeah.
I got into the start of season 5 when Lucifer gets out.
Yeah. Yes.
So I was a little wrong with the seasons, but I'm
yeah.
Very, very good. I finished watching the first season of Has Been Hotel over on Amazon Prime. If you've not watched that, guy, I highly recommend it.
I've not even heard of it.
Basically, it's a adult animated comedy musical set in hell about a hotel where demons come to try and get redemption.
Right.
And there's loads of little like nods and references and jokes in there that are just so on point, so my level. And David does the voice of a bartender. So, I mean, Go and
I'm
check
a
it
bit,
out. If you've never seen it, honestly, just watch the first episode.
you've put me off with the word musical.
The songs are funny though. Like one of the
Hmm.
first songs in it is "It's Gonna Be a Fucking Good Day in Hell."
Hmm.
So you'll trust me. Just give it the first episode chance. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
other than that,
Hmm.
I have been watching pretty much on repeat the first two episodes of a certain animated TV series. We spoke to the writers of the original show,
We did, yes.
X-Men 97. Oh my good God, I could gush all day over this, but we've got more. We've got other things to talk about.
Yeah, but yeah. Um, I was very happy with what I saw.
Yeah, from the minute it started, that original animation, no, not the original animation, but that
No,
the same kind of beats.
it's an homage to.
Yeah, like it had an updated version of the theme tune, an updated
Mm,
animation. It's saying followed the same beats, like showing the characters off and stuff like that. And as soon as it started, I was just like,
yeah.
I was, and tangent everyone. I was talking to my friend about this. I think Disney missed a trick. You'll probably agree with me on this one.
Mm,
Weekly, the episodes are coming out on a Wednesday.
yes.
I think they should have done it on a Saturday. So
Yes. Yes.
Saturday morning, you could have sat there with your bowl of cereal, watching the X-Men cartoon, and all of us people who are near, fast approaching a midlife crisis could be like, I feel like I'm 9 years old again. Like it, nostalgia overload, if they'd done that, would have just been peak.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it spoiler free.
We
First
are.
episodes, I thought personally, freaking fantastic. Good continuation of the legacy. And I love the fact that a lot of the undertones and the themes that were there in the original about tolerance and acceptance and things like that are all still there. People are going
Mm,
to go, oh, it's all woke, woke, woke. No, it's not. If you go back and watch the original cartoon, those same messages that they were talking about in these new episodes
mm,
are still there. So it's nothing new. Don't be complaining that X-Men's become woke all of a sudden, because technically it's always been fucking woke.
yes. It's been woke since the 60s.
Exactly.
Underheads.
Yeah. And if you don't get that by now, then you're not really an X-Men fan. I'm sorry, you're not. Anyway, Guy, what you been watching?
Well, funnily enough, I've been watching a show called Supernatural
Oh,
because we're both going through it at the same time again.
not that this is prep work for a future episode or nothing.
Not at all.
No, no.
Scouts on a dib dib dab.
I was never in the scouts, but
Um, yeah, so there's been that, and there is also the aforementioned animated show there.
Mhm.
And I've been watching a program on Netflix. So there you go.
There you go then.
So would you like to know what it's called?
Well then,
Stranger Things.
you've been watching Stranger Things. Got you.
Go on, get your jollies.
I win. I win. What you thinking so far? Which episode have you got to?
Uh, season 2, episode 2.
Season 2, episode 2.
I've been binging.
Yes, season. Like I said earlier, season 2 is the weaker of the two so
Mm,
far, but it's still a good series. There's multiple threads
mm,
going on that will carry over, and you will love it.
yeah. I am all right. You got me. Fuck's sake. I watched the episode of the show last week, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. You and Jim did it. You got me.
Can I say I'm very good at convincing people what's best for them. Can't do it for myself, but I can do it for other people.
I was going to say,
I don't take my own advice.
no, you give it out plenty.
As my loving father used to say to me while hitting me with a leather belt, do as I say and not as I do.
Mm.
Now I make a living doing that.
Well, yeah. But no, no, it's good. I'm liking it.
Good.
There's a lot of things I like.
And like I said, watching the cast grow up a little bit as well through each season, that's another cool little thing because it's like you see them going through things that every teenager go through. And it's like
Yeah.
if you grew up in the 80s through the 90s, you kind of remember going through that kind of stuff at that kind of time period. Like,
Mm.
yeah, shit, it was like that, wasn't it? So, but yeah,
Yeah.
Stranger Things, very good. Shall we move on then?
Well, yes, if you finish being superior.
I will always be superior. You know this.
This remains to be seen. Oh, I also watched Superman 3 today.
You watch what?
Superman 3.
Oh God, with Richard Pryor.
Yeah, I was hungover. Funny enough.
Perfect hangover cure, I suppose, because at least you can sneak through it.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, it was on. I could be able to change the channel.
Hey, why not? If it's just there in the background, you're like,
Yeah, well,
whatever.
the adjudicator doesn't want to do Stranger Things with me, so
Oh, never mind.
you can reach her.
That's a solo JB for that one.
Yeah.
That sounded wrong.
Hey, yeah. We'll edit that bit out.
Yeah,
So, right, onto the heart of the episode.
2 seconds.
Da, da, da.
I forgot to do something. We can continue now. I needed to turn my volume down.
Tit.
Yep.
So, where was we? Yes, so the heart of this week's episode. Da, 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 da. And that's enough because of copyright.
We are, of course, talking of that wonderful archaeologist played brilliantly by Harrison Ford, Dr. Henry Jones Jr., better known to us all as Indiana Jones.
Yay! Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So, normally when we do these kind of episodes, we cover where we first discovered this. And in all honesty, I think for me, it's pretty much the same as a lot of these films and stuff from this time period. Watched it with my parents, so there you go. Guy?
Yep. Big Christmas Day film, whatever year it was for Raiders.
Yes, yes. Well, we do have release dates. We'll start with Raiders.
Yes, I couldn't tell you when it came on to Auntie Beeb, but
Well, yes, about 2 years later, knowing terrestrial TV
right,
back in the day.
yeah.
But yes, Raiders of the Lost Ark was released on June 12th, 1981, with a budget of around 20 million. It's not exact, but close enough. With a box office take of 389.9 million.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
We're talking 1980s money here, people, not 2024 money.
Dinero, baby.
You know, it was back then, that kind of money was like,
Holy shit, we
yeah,
want
like,
10 of
I'm
these.
rich. But yeah, much like you, sort of, I remember watching the first film, Raiders, particularly, mainly over Christmases. A lot of my kind of Christmas memories do have Raiders or some kind of Indiana Jones on in the background.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, we don't really need to cover that spiel and that shtick of it. But Guy, do you want to give us the quick summary of the story?
So, archaeologist extraordinaire Henry Jones Jr., Indy to his mates, gets approached by the American government to search for the Ark of the Covenant, hence Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, obviously that tickles his taint a little bit. He fancies some of that. So off he jolly well goes, flying on a map with a line,
Yeah,
red line, the traditional red line on the map.
tangent quickly there. The Muppets would parody this much later on in one of their films. It's like, oh, we're traveling by map,
Yes.
and it does the same overlay with the map with the red. Yeah, continue.
Yes. Sorry, tangent.
Tangent alert.
Yeah. So obviously he's traveling across the globe, but then bloody Nazis are after it as well, the bastards.
Oh, yes, as they are known to do, looking for their occult, supernaturally stuff.
Yeah, well, it is apparently said that an army that carries the Ark in front of it is invincible.
Yes, it's protected by God, apparently.
So, yeah, naturally, the Führer wants it. The
Mm-hmm.
Führer wants it.
What the Fuhrer wants, the Fuhrer gets.
Club.
Except for a foot taller and be blonde hair.
So, yeah. So, of course, a French policeman goes past and goes, "Good morning." I was
Yeah.
just pissing by.
For some reason, Indiana Jones stops by the set of Hello Hello for 5 minutes.
It fucking does in my head, Cameron.
There's probably a deleted scene somewhere where he's in a cafe in France and he gets served.
There's Arthur Bostrom come past morning.
Good morning, Dr. Jones.
And I've spoiled Indy for everyone. You're welcome, folks. You're welcome.
Mic drop.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the Nazis show up, make it all bad.
yeah.
As
Is
they
there a
do.
film that I won't spoil by including elements of BBC 1980s light entertainment?
No,
No, there isn't. There isn't.
you wait till we cover the Avatar franchise. Sid James on Pandora. You do what with your ponytail?
Oh, she's all blue and naked. Chopper. Oh, blimey. She's gone. I've got her. Well, she's gone, folks.
Continue, please.
What?
Please.
Wow.
Continue.
Violet says please. That's a bloody first. Anyhow, so yes, so yes, of course, Indy's chasing across the place, looking for the Ark of the Covenant, finds it in Egypt, discovers the Nazis are fucking digging for it in the wrong place because they're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm allowed to say that Nazis are fucking idiots.
Yeah, well, I mean, if any group of people are allowed to be called idiots, I think the Nazis are the ones that you're okay to call idiots, because let's face it.
Yeah. And of course, you know, is one of his opposite evil number, Rene Belloc, is also helping the Nazis look for it because he's fucking French, sympathising traitor.
Yeah.
Got to be careful with that. So yeah, they track it down. Obviously, Indy's ex-girlfriend gets involved in the plot.
Yes, Marion Ravenwood.
Yes, Marion Ravenwood. More on her later, folks. Marvelously played. And yeah, so there you go. They track down the Ark of the Covenant. Fucking idiots decide to open it.
Yes.
They
And
think it's full of sand. It's not. It's full of the evil spirits that melt their faces.
which, for its time, was an absolutely terrifying effect.
God, yeah. When I was young and I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, young me, I'd seen RoboCop. You know what I mean? So, and seeing that was worse.
Isn't it?
That was worse, in my opinion. And Raiders was a PG.
Oh, yes, I believe it was.
Because I know
It was definitely PG in the 80s.
I know that the Indiana Jones franchise, along with a couple of other films, was actually responsible for getting the PG-13 certificate brought into effect, which in the States is basically like our version of a 12A.
Yeah.
15. You know, it's up there, like it's got a lot of violence in it. So yeah, a little bit trivia I know there.
But yeah, so there you go. That's it. Nazis get melted and exploded.
Yeah.
Nazis. And they take the Ark back to America, where it gets
Put in a warehouse.
put in a warehouse.
And then in a later film, they go back to that warehouse, which little touch. Lovely little touch that was.
Yeah.
But again, we'll get to that in a bit.
So there you go. I mean, I didn't really need to do all that, to be honest. If you're watching this, you've watched fucking Raiders.
We're just covering those people who may or may not have seen them. Because if you haven't, then go and watch them.
Yeah, bugger off. Pause this, go watch
What's
them,
this?
come back.
Come back when you've watched the indie films. But it's good to cover the story just so that it refreshes us in our memories of what we're talking about. And yeah, Raiders is one of my all-time favorites, not just because it's the
Mm.
first one, but for me, storyline wise, it's one of the best ones. Although, God damn you, Big Bang Theory, for pointing out the fact that if Indiana Jones wasn't in the film, events still would have played out the same way they did.
Well,
Which,
no, they wouldn't, because then how would the Ark have got to America?
well, it wouldn't. It would have just got left on that island, wouldn't it? So, I mean, pretty much the same. It changes the ending. That's about it.
Yeah, damn it, Big Bang.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can mark it down for now because it's not until that I heard that joke I was like, wait a minute.
And to think we did an episode on the Big Bang, bastards.
Yeah. We showed them
Big
love
Bang,
first.
Big Bang twats.
Well, technically it was Amy Farrah Fowler, so we'll just single her out. We'll blame her.
Damn it, Blossom.
Yeah. But Raiders of the Lost Ark for me, it's one of the best ones. It's got the best characters. It's got some of the
Easily
more.
one of the best. It's not actually my favorite.
Oh,
My second favorite.
oh. I'd
But
say
we'll come on to that.
it's not my absolute favorite out of the franchise, but compared to the rest of them, it's one of my favorites. My
Mm,
we'll get to my actual favorite in a little bit, but
we will. And
that's
mine.
more the nostalgia that's attached to it than the
Oh,
actual film
yeah.
itself. But as we've said a lot of times on this show, nostalgia and memories and things like that play a big part in why you like something so much and why you love when we talked about our gaming episode we did.
Yeah.
I talked about getting my first PlayStation 1. Things like that stay with you.
Mm,
You know, the memories stick with you because of that, and that's why a later pick is my all-time favorite. But should we move on to the next one? Or do you want to
yes.
talk about favorite moments from this one?
Oh, favorite moments. Mounty faces. The whole intro.
Yes, me and
Hell.
me and my daughter, we actually just watched the Mythbusters episode
Mm,
recently, where they actually tested the run and yeah, it's that intro has cemented itself in the pop culture zeitgeist, as we like to say on
yeah.
here. We say that about a lot of things that it's just bloop, there you go. You the minute you see that golden idol, you
You know.
know what it's from.
Mm.
But yeah.
But yeah,
My favorite moments is the bit where right near the beginning when they're in the bar and it's burning down, and the Nazi grabs the medallion and
oh yeah, melts on his hand.
it burns his hand. It reminded me as a kid. That reminded me of Home Alone when he grabs the doorknob.
Oh yeah.
That was what my brain connected it to. First time I seen
Mm.
it, like that's like Home Alone. So,
Oh, God, that shows how older I am than you are. Anyway.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Moving on
Jesus.
to the next one.
Temple of Doom. Actually, a prequel.
Yes, I was talking to my daughter about this earlier. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, it was Raiders, then Temple of Doom, but Temple of Doom's actually set before Raiders.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch them.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is set in 1936. Temple of Doom is set in 1935.
Yeah, sorry, that's Facebook.
Shut up, Facebook.
Zuckerberg. But yeah, so I was like I said, I was talking to my daughter earlier about the run order. If you're gonna watch them in actual storyline order, it's Temple of Doom, then Raiders.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
Which is the way I like to do it.
yeah, what chronological order, you
Mm.
know, the way the story's supposed to play out. But yeah, so Temple of Doom was released on May 23rd, 1984. I would have been like barely a month old at this point. Budget
Well,
was, the budget did go up
yes.
slightly, and it was at 28.17 million. and the box office was 333.1 million. So higher budget, but slightly lower take back.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Well, from what I saw doing my online research earlier, compared to the first one, this is the one that got more of a slightly negative critical reception.
Yeah, it's darker, isn't it? So,
Yeah, that was the big sticking point, and that's why the PG-13 rating came into effect, was because look,
mm,
it's too gory and violent and dark thematically, not just visual, but thematic
mm,
to be a PG. So we have to bunk it up to this rating, but it's not too much, it's not enough to meet this rating either. So Spielberg went, well, why not create a new rating and put it in the middle?
yeah.
And we got PG-13. So, but yeah, this one, I love it. I do like it, but it's not my favorite. And it's
Mm,
mainly because you had such a strong female lead with Marion.
yeah.
Then in this one, you've basically got the constant screaming blonde damsel in distress kind of character. And
Yeah.
that's the most annoying thing about this film is with, yeah, I get it, it's a prequel, but the fact that it was made afterwards, it's like, no, you kind of stepping back
Mm,
character trait. It didn't sit right with me. I will watch it. I do like a lot of the scenes, the whole Kalima, Kali, that
uh,
all of that stuff. Love it, right? But it's just that damsel in distress.
mm.
What
Well,
was
it's
the character
also,
name? Billy? Was the name Billy the character?
yeah, something like
Uh,
that. Instantly forget. Oh, I've seen her in nothing since.
although that intro where he's running through the bar and the big gong
Yeah, that's brilliant.
through shield, and I didn't notice this upon first viewing, but if you
Mm,
watch it close enough when they're shooting the machine gun, the dents are actually appearing on
yeah,
the thing. I was like, I've never noticed that until recent. Like, when I say recently, like watching it in the last 10 years, I was like,
yeah.
I've never noticed the fact that the bullet dents are actually appearing as they're running behind it. So special effects again, practical effects. Thank you
Practical
very
effects.
much.
Yeah.
No CG fucking eye here.
Hmm. No, that comes later.
Yeah. Oh boy, does it? Yeah.
But yeah, again, not my favorite. I do love Kihu Kwan in it though.
Oh, short round.
Sure.
In his first starring role as well.
Yes, this was pre Goonies.
Yes, because Goonies was the year after.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, this one, like I said, not great. It has its moments.
Mm. The minecart chase is just classic.
Oh yeah, but unfortunately now watching it on like HD TVs, you can see the green screeny bits and the outlines and stuff. That's the only downside for me
Yeah.
to older
Well,
films going into HD is that
mm,
sometimes if they're not done properly, you can see the the overlays and everything. You can see
yeah.
where it's been. Nah, I mean, but yeah,
No,
first watching that on an old CRT TV back in the late 80s, early 90s
mm,
was,
a bomb.
yeah, watching that chase just like,
Mm,
wow. Although logistically, how fucking long was that mine for that chase to go on that long?
yeah.
Video game logic, I think, kind of comes into
Yeah.
play here a little bit. Like, don't think about that. Just enjoy what's happening.
Mm,
Switch your brain off. Don't ask questions.
yeah. I think it was nice to have the Nazis drop for a film.
Yeah, yeah, because it did become a big sticking point in the next.
Mm,
We'll get to that in a minute, though. We'll get to that in a
yeah.
minute.
So there we go. Oh, also the meal.
I actually have a joke about that. One of my first time viewings. It's the bit where she's going to eat the soup,
Mm,
but then there's eyeballs in it.
yeah.
I was maybe 6 years old, so probably a little bit too young to be watching this, but I turn around to my dad and I say, "Why is there eyeballs in the soup?" And he's like, "Well, the soup will fill you up now, and those will see you through the week."
Hey.
Even
Get me
then,
again.
I went, no, Dad, just don't quit your day job. You're a truck driver, not a stand-up comedian, please.
Dad joke.
Yeah, it really was a dad joke, but that's one of the memories that I have from
Mm,
watching Temple of Doom was that one
that's
scene.
lovely. That's a lovely memory.
Yeah, gotta have nice memories. I mean, there's fuck
Mm,
all nice about my life. I've got to have good fucking memories.
fair enough, though.
Shall we move on to the next one then?
Ah, yes.
I think we should. The next one,
Last Crusade.
yes, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, bringing in Sean Connery as Indy's father, Henry Jones Sr.
Golden bit of casting.
Oh, the chemistry between them two was
Mm,
it was friend, it was chef's kiss, chef's kiss.
mm.
This one for me is my personal favorite
And mine.
because I got to see this on the day it came out on VHS.
Nice.
It was a rental for me and my dad, and we sat and watched it one Friday night while eating Chinese takeaway.
Oh, it's lovely.
It was a little bonding time for us
Mm,
together. And yeah, I'd seen the other two, and I was like, yeah, let's watch Last Crusade. And I was not disappointed. I loved every goddamn minute of it. The traps at the end, the optical illusions with the
mm.
path and all that kind of stuff. The bit with the
Hey,
tank. Oh,
ask me where I first saw it.
cinema.
In the cinema with me dad.
Similar memory, but in the big screen. Fuck off.
With the speaker system. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
Have fun hosting on your own.
Well then, folks. So now the quality is going to improve.
Fuck you.
Wow. Left the door wide open for that one. I just.
Fucking did. Fucking did. But yeah, this one's my favorite.
Mm,
It's got some of the best action. It's got some of the best comedy lines in it. Like
yeah.
some of it completely unintentional, but some of it just like
Yeah.
just works. And the dynamic, like we said, between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, they're two characters.
Yeah.
And a
And the
bit right
bringing.
at the end, like we named the dog Indiana.
Yeah. You're named after
A
a dog.
dog. Shout out to John Rhys Davis there.
Yes. It's great to have him back. Great to have Deno Elliott back.
Yeah, when I saw him in Tangent, when I saw him in the more recent film, I was like,
Mm,
so good to see that character come back.
definitely. But more on that in a bit.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Last Crusade, my personal opinion, best one in the franchise.
Yes.
Might be
Will
a bit
agree.
out there, but best one in the franchise. If you disagree with us, drop us in the comments. And while we're on the subject, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know whenever we drop content.
And tell a friend
Yes.
if you have any.
Sorry, we have to stroke the algorithmic dick once in a while just to keep our channel afloat. It's the prostitution of YouTube. Welcome.
Mhm.
And on today's final episode,
Yeah, there you go. Focus off.
you know, just use solicitation and YouTube in the same fucking sentence. We're not going to be around next week. And if we are, hi everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good ride, folks. But
Yeah. Which is ironically another reason why we're getting kicked off.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, lively.
So my papers
You
back on
dirty
topic.
old woman.
Back on topic. Right. Should we move on to the next film in the franchise, or do you want to shout out some favorite moments from this one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's got to be the pigeons dropping that Nazi plane. That's great.
You realize that? It's funny. It's funny.
And Indiana's speech about Marcus Brody about blending in and all that, and then the next it cuts into him and he's fucking upside down on the camel. That's good, man. Come out from hell.
Yeah. Gotta love those. Like I said, those comedy moments. Just
Yeah.
right. Getting on to the next one.
Mm. Yes, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We have Steven Spielberg's son to blame for this.
Yeah, it came out May 22nd, 2008. So a 19-year gap.
Yeah.
It shows.
Set in the 50s.
Yeah, it had a. Oh, I didn't cover on Last Crusade
Mm.
and stuff. It came out May 24th, 89.
Ah, yes.
Budget was 48 million. The box office was 474.2 million. So box office wise, it's the best performing one as well.
You bring in the Connery.
Well, it when if you adjust it for inflation, it is the best performing one. But when you look at the numbers as they're written down, which is what I did, I wrote them down from online sources. It's not the highest grossing one, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Right.
Yeah, but you see what happens. You had Connery, and then
But Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Shutting it out. I was just on the set there.
I was just shitting at the set.
Yeah, I was shitting on the set. And it was lovely.
But yes, Kingdom of
George
the
Lucas
Crystal came out May 22nd, 2008. Had a budget of 148 million. That even made the adjudicator cough.
It did. How
And
much?
The box office for this was, I cannot believe this, really, 790.7 million.
Well, this is the power of longing.
Also, the power of inflation.
Yes, that too.
Because you're dealing with a film that came out in 2008. And by then, we'd already seen a lot of movies where their budgets were huge, astronomical, to the point where those kind of budgets now are commonplace. Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, 500 million. You know what I mean? So I hate this one. That's all I can really say about it. I fucking hate it.
I hated it when it came out. When I first saw it, I was just like,
I've watched it twice and still hate it. I watched it twice and still cannot stand to watch it.
I've watched it one more time and I sort of came back to it and I'm like, it's not that bad. It's not great. It's not as bad as I thought it was. There's parts where I sort of go, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I liked the motorbike chase scene through the college, through the library. I liked that part of it. But the storyline, the character of his son, I did not like it. And the over reliance on CGI in this one, especially that ending. Spoiler alert, that fucking CGI alien. Oh, why? I can't even form a sentence to describe how crap and how stupid that was. Not only as a story point, but as a visual. It looked like a fucking PS2 character. It was not believable. You could have had Kermit the Frog on a 3-day bender tied to a plank of fucking wood and it would have looked more believable as an alien than that CGI piece of bullshit.
This Violet Rant is brought to you by booze.
I'm the sober one. But yeah, that's how much I hate this film. It should, if it were up to me, it'd be wiped from canon. I'd consider it a fucking, I don't know, maybe Indy went on a backpacking holiday and took way too much peyote and this was his resulting trip. If they watched this way, if they pulled a Dallas on this and it was like, oh, you remember that film? Yeah, it was all just a dream. Thanks for that. It explains a lot. and it wasted the talent of Kate Blanchett. Thank you very fucking much.
Yeah, that's true. I can give you that. I did quite enjoy Ray Winston, but I like Ray Winston.
I liked his character, but again, he kind of, from what I can remember of it, it's been a while since I watched it, but he sort of showed up and was an old acquaintance of Indy, but we'd never seen him before.
Mm,
And they were sort of making these references and stuff. And I was like, I'm sorry, but we don't get these references because we're only just meeting you now.
mm.
Like,
Yeah, this is the problem. It's actually set, in the 50s. So you've had all that time from the 30s where he's been doing all this shit
yeah, but with no
off camera.
context, he's saying these things like, oh, like just like Berlin, just like Berlin. And it's like, you as characters get that reference, but us as the audience don't.
Mm.
So, but yeah, Kingdom of the Crystal Wank, yeah, whatever. Fuck that film right off.
We can agree it is the worst one.
Yeah. For very different reasons, we both dislike it. But yeah, go and watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, everyone. See if you agree with me or with Guy.
Yeah, drop it down there. You know what to do.
Give me 2 seconds. I need to refill my drink.
Oh, blimey. I need to refill my drink.
Well, we've got one film left. Do you want to roll on with it?
All right, then. Can your knickers in a twist?
That's why I've been sitting uncomfortably all day. Thank you.
There you stay. Well, if you got your drink prepared like I do, then
I had one prepared. I'm just incredibly thirsty today.
here's one I prepared earlier.
Suffering a very
So,
devastating dry mouth.
moving on. We get to the shining 70s, folks,
Ooh.
because it's time for the Dial of Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one is the most recent one.
It is.
Came out last year. There were, for this one and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, there were 2 release dates.
Was it last year? Was it?
2023. Yeah, 2023 is what I've got listed here.
Well, fair enough, then. That's what you got. That's what you got.
It did come out, I think, the year before, or a couple. Yeah, it was a year before at Cannes. This is what I was just about to say. For the last two films, there's 2 release dates. There's the Cannes release date and then the general public release date.
They're fucking confusing people like that.
I went with the general public release date because watching it at the Cannes Film Festival, unless you're a fucking celebrity or you paid to get in there, you ain't going to watch the films that are there.
Mm-hmm.
So they get a general public release. So I went with those release dates. But this one is listed at June 30th, 23. So it's not even a year old yet.
Yeah.
Budget 295 million.
Ooh.
This concerns me a little bit. Box office 384 million. Now, when your budget is nearly 300 million and your take back is not even close to 400 million, that's actually considered to be a box office failure.
But
critically,
there's also the streaming.
Yes, that's what it doesn't account for. And this kind of goes tangent alert, people. This goes back to what me and Jimmy were saying last week. That there's a lot of films now where they've got such an inflated budget. But the problem is with streaming services, like there's hundreds of them now. And all that kind of stuff. Not many people will pay to go to the cinema anymore. So it becomes a case of you pump all this money into a film, you put it in the cinema. No one goes to see it at the cinema, so you consider it a box office flop. It hits the streaming services, and critically and word of mouth with fans sing its praises. It's one of the best shows we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
The studio doesn't care because they've already put the money into it. As far as they're concerned, they've already lost that money. Yeah. And this kind of circles back around to what I was saying, that I think that going forward, if you want to tell a big, grand story, do a TV series, do a mini series, chop a 3-hour film into 4 or 5 parts. Pump that kind of budget that you're putting into these huge flops and do a decent TV series, tell a good story, a longer story. You can even make it multiple seasons if it does successful enough.
No.
You know, people aren't paying to go to the cinema anymore when we've got that experience at home.
Mm.
Why should we? Why should we pay 20, 30 quid for two people to go and sit the film for 3 hours in very uncomfortable seats? I will add that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the chair designs for cinemas have changed since the 1960s. I really don't. They're so uncomfortable. You can't pause it if you need to pop to the bathroom or nothing like that. People are now more inclined to watch a film like Dial of Destiny at home on their streaming services. That's how I watched it.
Same.
So,
I waited for it to come to streaming.
yeah. And I think this goes to show that as time's gone on, it started in 1981. Most recent film was last year. That as things have inflated, money's gone up, things have cost more. That does explain why between the third and the fourth film specifically, because like I said, there's nearly 20 years between them.
Yeah.
Of course, the budget's going to look like it's bigger in comparison because everything 20 years later costs more.
Mm.
That's understandable. But with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 790.7 million. How? How did that film gross that much? Because
Like I said, it's the power of longing, and people wanted it and wanted it and wanted it. So off they went.
finally came out, everyone drove to see it. And I think that's another thing that contributes to the lower performance of Dial of Destiny is because there was another big gap, you had people like us, long-time fans going, we've been burnt before. We bought into all this hype with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We thought it was going to be good. And then you fisted us to death. So we're not going to have that again. A lot of people that I spoke to, yourself, a few other people, said they were actually put off watching the new one because of how bad the last one was. And me as kind of a semi-movie critic here on YouTube, I had to convince them, like, no, trust me. Even I hated the last one as much as you do, but trust me, even I'm saying this one is worth a watch. If it's the last one they ever make, which
it is,
fingers crossed, they don't double back on that one. I hope they stick to that this is the final one.
Well, fucking Harrison Ford's sticking with it, I'll tell you that.
Let's hope so,
You know what the grumpy old bastard's like.
If this is the absolute final chapter in the Indiana Jones story, then I'm glad it went out on a high note and that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull wasn't the last film. Because if that had been the last film that we got in this franchise, what a disappointing end to such a fucking great franchise, really.
Yeah.
Dial of Destiny for me wrapped everything up nicely, and
it did. It's a good film.
It gave you that glimmer of hope. Spoiler alert! It gave you that glimmer of hope right at the end where he reaches out, grabs the hat off the line. You're like, oh, he's off on another adventure. But we don't need to see that, like you said with the stuff between the third and the fourth film. He was off doing those adventures. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
He's in here now. He's in here having his adventures. He can do whatever you want him to do within reason. I've read some dodgy fan fiction in my time, trust me.
No.
Yeah. So, Dial of Destiny, I loved it.
Same. There was some kickback on the de-aging sequence at the start, but I don't care. I enjoyed it. I liked it. So
I did say this in the episode when we talked about Dial of Destiny. I did say this, that for me, it was just a little bit jarring because the old man voice coming out of the young indie face, that was the only thing that threw me. But it was only for like the first couple of seconds, the first few lines of dialogue. Once I got used to it, it was like, yeah, this is like watching old indie. This is like watching indie back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So yeah,
picking shit out of the Nazis.
Oh yes. Yeah. And again, I addressed in the episode where we talked about it, the bit where he comments on his age when they're climbing up the wall. Like, yeah, I love how they actually use some realism there. We're like, yeah, the actor's getting older, the character's getting older. He can't be doing what he used to be doing as much.
No. It's like that scene where you sort of come in, he's there in the morning, he's sprawled out on his chair asleep, his socks hanging off his foot, in his vest. He's in his Uncle Albert vest. And it's like, fucking hell, he's drinking first thing in the morning. It's like, oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. And the bit when he's at the college and he's talking about the stuff he's writing on the board and he's literally just mumbling his way through it.
Well, that's just Harrison. That's just the way Harrison Ford acts now.
What? True.
What am I doing this shit?
But yeah, that's the film franchise covered. There was a TV series that, from what I hear, is supposed to be canon, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Not as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I was gonna say, from what I heard, Indiana Jones showed up in like two episodes of it. Like Harrison Ford showed up in two episodes of it as Indy. So some people consider it canon. Most people, however, do not. I
No.
personally do not. But
I've not actually. This is the thing. Normally, when there is, extended universe stuff on things, I will check it out and look at it. With Indiana Jones, I never have. I've only ever watched the films.
I think I do remember seeing some episodes of it because I remember it used to be shown on Sky One as part of
It
their
did.
Saturday tea time block. It was that and the
Mm,
RoboCop TV series and something else after that. But I do remember catching bits of it here or there. And again, I didn't get into it. It wasn't something that really gripped
yeah.
my attention. But eh,
I just saw rabbits for, and I was just sort of like, no.
yeah.
Even back then, I was like,
There is still much love
nope.
out there for the Indiana Jones franchise to the point where Hasbro have actually released a range of action figures called I think they call it Indiana Jones Adventures,
Mm,
I think. And it's basically Marvel Legends scale action
mm,
figures. And there's a reviewer I watch here on YouTube. Shout out to Robo. Um, he's been collecting these for a while, and he said the thing with like the Indiana Jones figures is it's guy in a suit, guy in a suit, guy in a suit. There's Gizmo. She's after my tassels. Hello, hello.
Gizmo.
Gizmo's been poorly recently, and she had to go to the
Oh,
vet.
oh,
Got a bit of a food allergy going on, haven't you?
oh, bloody
Yeah, problem with one side of her mouth. They think it might be a
hell.
food allergy, but they want to rule something else out first, so she's on meds at the minute.
Oh,
But yeah, tangent alert there. Sorry.
yeah,
Yes, the range of Indiana Jones action figures, as cool as they are, it is like Indiana Jones in a tuxedo, Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom gear, Indiana Jones in his hat and jacket, Indiana
yeah,
Jones without his hat and jacket, Indiana Jones in a suit. It's just
yeah.
people.
There's only so much.
Yeah, but I have seen they have started to do now sort of like little play sets where you can get him in the desert gear with the staff
Mm,
and the map,
yeah.
and it does actually do the light and everything. It's got an effects piece to do the beam of light
Mm.
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and as display pieces, I think they're kind of cool.
Mm,
But like you said, very limited. Like, oh,
yeah,
it's Indy in this outfit or Indy in that outfit or this character in a suit. It's a lot of dudes in suits.
yeah.
That's the only problem with it. It's not as dynamic
Don't
as like
need it.
superheroes where it's
What's
different.
the thing? I mean, there's novels and there's comics, and I'm just not bothered because all I want is the films.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, if
That's
this
all I
was the
need.
last one, I hope this the last one is the fucking last one.
Yeah, they
You
are.
get one more.
The House of Mouse are on about doing a prequel TV series,
Um,
but it's only might be at the minute.
do you know what I would like to see as a prequel series, actually? Learn a lesson like they did from Prey, go back a little
Mm,
further, and do a TV series focusing on Henry Jones Sr. when he was younger.
yeah,
Like
that could be cool.
have him be the one going around and getting in the misadventures like his son did.
Have him be the one sitting around in his study doing his ground diary.
Yeah,
It's not much of a program, is it?
no, not really.
No.
But no, honestly, I'd like to see sort of something else set in the world of Indiana Jones. Doesn't necessarily have to be him, but we'll see. We'll see.
Sure, I'm just going to sit here and do my ground diary. I'm not really one for all this sort of marking about with whips.
All right, I think that's about it for
Hmm?
Indiana Jones. Really, it's about as much as we can wring out here a bit. There have been video games. I've not played
Yeah,
any
but
of
he gives
them. I've not played any of them.
no me. I don't care. I just want the films.
Exactly.
So let's see. For me, worst to best. We
Worst.
have Crystal Skull, followed by Temple of Doom,
Hmm.
followed by Dial of Destiny. Then, of course, Raiders and top choice, Last Crusade.
I can agree with you on that. Yeah, that sounds like a fair order to me because the second one and Dial of Destiny for me in orders of how much I like it, they're kind of interchangeable
Mm.
because it's like if I'm doing a series watch through, I hate Crystal Skull. We've covered that, but like second and the second and the fourth film, Dial of Destiny, for me, it's like they're on par with each other. Those ones,
Yeah.
like not fantastic, but a good way to end the series.
Hmm.
But there we go. That's just this bitch's personal thoughts on the matter.
Well, personal farts, did you say?
Thoughts.
Oh,
Like Thor.
oh,
Not
oh okay.
Thor. Oh.
Yeah, personal farts.
Personal thoughts on that one. I'm not from
Oh,
Yorkshire.
I got personal farts. Bloody hell.
Personal thoughts. Yeah, you sell them on OnlyFans. Also, I've heard.
Uh, allegedly.
I'm not speaking from experience at all.
No, no, of course not.
But yeah, that kind of rounds the episode out then, doesn't it, Guy?
It does, yes. It's got to be said. It's good to be back.
It is, it is.
Having said that, I won't be appearing on the next episode.
I know, you bastard.
Sorry, folks. Duty calls, music stuff.
Yes, he's gigging again. But honestly, I wish you the best of luck with all of the gigs you have coming up on. Honestly,
Thank you, madam.
I would
Thank
have been at the most recent one, but parental duties stopped me from attending.
you. You wound me, madam. You wound me.
Hopefully, next one. Is it next Saturday you're playing?
I'm actually playing Saturday and Sunday next week.
Right, I can be there for the Saturday one then, because
You
next.
can't because that's in Dysworth with a different band. Sunday is at the Rarebrook with my band Hoodoo Voodoo.
Oh yeah, I have a
Check
guest host.
out.
I have a guest host lined up anyway for that week, so it's fine.
Excellent.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
It's fine.
Hmm?
Sorry, went all serial killer there for a moment.
Yeah, I'll say, all right, that Dahmer.
What comes after death? Jeffrey Dahmer if he's horny.
Yee!
On our final episode again. Anyway, right, I think it's time to say goodnight then. What do you reckon?
Yes, it is time to say good night, good night, good night, ba 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 ba, good night. There you go.
There we go then.
Take us home.
Take us home then. Right. Good night, my sweet tortured souls. And remember, if you can't be good, be twisted. Don't get mad, baby. Get sadistic. Mwah. Love
Tony,
you.
learn those words. It's not hard.
Yeah, Tony.
One
Bye.
last little one in there.
Yeah, gotta jab one more in. Bye,
I'll see you in a couple of weeks, folks.
everyone. Bye.